That's what I love about LA. All the damn vampires.
Mowing down vamps with my best friend, Bud.
This week, the Fiends watched
Day Shift
the new Netflix movie
with Jamie Foxx
and Dave Franco.
Ugh.
Okay, so if you're new to our dumb podcast or dumb show, what we do is we ask each other really quickly, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
What we thought of the film, spoiler free.
Because we don't know what each other thought.
Exactly.
All right, Mikey, you got to go first this week. You have the burden. What did you think of Day Shift?
Day Shift. Didn't watch the trailer. Didn't know what it was about. I knew hot ass, tight ass Jamie Foxx was in it. I'm in for that all day, every day of the week. Started it. When it ended, I will say I kind of love this movie. It knew what it wanted to be. It had a fun tone to it. Did not take itself too seriously. And the most important part, it was entertaining. It was entertaining like a movie should be. Didn't take itself seriously. Had vibes of other films, which I will get into, but close to loving it. I just enjoyed the hell out of it. Loved the watch, and can't wait to watch it again. So that's what I'm going to say about Diggity Day Shift. Mikey, what did you think about Day Shift?
Day Shift. One word comes to mind when I am asked, what do I think of it? And I will say entertaining. So the movie itself, I liked the movie. There are some problems and there's some things I'm definitely going to pick at. But I was on board from start to finish. I thought it had its moments of fun, right? The movie was trying to be fun, and it was fun. And it had some really, really good choreographed fight scenes.
Yes.
So I think with all of that, yeah, it was entertaining. I liked it.
Okay.
Didn't love it, liked it.
Okay. Seems like we're on the same page, man.
Pretty goddamn similar,
Same
Mikey,
page.
if I'm not gonna lie.
It's not like one of us really loved it and then the other one hated it. So this shouldn't be too much of an old gay couple bickering episode. You know what I mean?
Be an old straight couple not bickering.
Exactly. So yeah, you mentioned the stunt choreography. It was directed by J.J. Perry, who is a stunt coordinator himself.
See how it works out?
This is his first directorial debut.
Yeah.
Did you look up what he's done?
Choreography for John Wick 4 or something?
John Wick 2.
Oh,
he was a
okay,
supervising stunt coordinator. Fast and Furious. He's done like one or two of those.
Oh.
So he knows how to choreograph some stunts.
He does.
And that's the first thing that pops out to you is there's something different about the hits, the action, the way it's filmed. There's something different about it. I can't pinpoint what it is. I can't pinpoint why I like this.
Yeah.
The opening scene, Jamie Foxx shows up to a house. He's a pool cleaner. And we don't know what the fuck's going on. You're like, okay, it's a pool cleaner, but there's got to be something more to it.
Yeah.
Opens up his shit, goes in the house, and basically has a fucking 8-minute long fight with an old lady vampire and her son or whatever younger guy in there. And dude, that fucking opening scene it grabbed my fucking chin, right? And just ripped me right into the movie because it felt like an Evil Dead scene. I said, this is a scene out of Ash vs. Evil Dead, specifically like the show. It just felt like a scene out of that. It was such an Evil Dead vibe to me that I go, you got me. You got me.
Yeah, it's the best scene in the movie for me.
Okay.
By far. I would say it's the most jaw-dropping, especially Mikey, I didn't see the trailer. So I knew that it had to do with vampires. Did you?
Oh, I had no idea.
Oh, okay, got it. I knew it had to do with vampires. It was the Jamie Foxx vampire movie coming to light.
Okay.
And even Bobby Lee mentioned it on Tiger Belly.
Okay.
He was supposed to be in the movie. And I want to
Okay.
know who you think he was supposed to be because I don't know the answer, but we'll dissect that because we're big
Okay.
fans. But I knew it was a Jamie Foxx vampire movie, but I had no idea that fucking old woman right off the rip was going to be a vamp.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I had no idea.
Oh, I could see that coming from. I didn't watch the trailer. I even know about vampires. I go, she's obviously not innocent. He's in there killing. He's going to kill her.
Well,
She's going to
just-
turn into a monster.
It was perfect timing to whip out the shotgun and blast her, and I go, you got me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Awesome. It was pretty long, and it was just dope. Like,
Dude,
the whole thing was awesome.
It was very long,
Yeah.
but it was good because
Yeah.
you got to start your movie off. There's another movie that's similar to this. Dylan Dog, Dead of Night or something, and no one really knows about it. I have it on Blu-ray. I bought it. It's like 2005 or 6 or 7 or some shit. Really bad, but it's about this private investigator who used to be a cop for monsters and vampires and werewolves, right? And this shares similarities with that in a certain way, along with like R.I.P.D., Men in Black, Evil Dead. Like it has a mix of elements from all those movies kind of thrown in together.
Throw in John Wick.
Why are we throwing in John Wick there?
Well, because there's like the organization, the union of the people hunting. That's what I got.
That's R.I.P.D. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, that's because in John Wick, it's not so much like a police department. It's more of like an underground assassin. No one's really like together. There isn't like a main. You don't go into like the boss's office and sit down at a desk. See what I'm saying?
Sure.
That's why that's more like the RIPDs and the old show Special Unit 9. Like those shows where it's like, oh, this is like a police station basically.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
They're cops for the supernatural monsters. So that's why I didn't think of John Wick in that way. I did think of John Wick in the way of some of the stunt choreography. That's what I thought you were going to say. So it is John Wickish.
Thanks. I knew
it is John Wickish.
You have to somehow, you can't not think of it. Like, forget even hearing that the director's a stunt coordinator. You just go, man, it's like there's a formula, right, when it comes to solid choreography lately, especially with weapons.
Yes.
And look at, obviously, John Wick, but everything after that, right? Bob Odenkirk. Fucking always forget the name of the movie.
Nobody.
There you go. Nobody. It's like when you can feel the hits and you can see the impact and it's not too much shaky cam, right? Like you can see that a lot of thought is put into the choreography. Every movement, it's like they didn't try to disguise any movements by doing any weird. There are some quick cuts, obviously.
They did the opposite.
Right.
They tried to make everything more clear for you to understand. And it was choreographed so well. And there's another scene later in the movie that I think contests the first scene. That's why I think both of those scenes are right there. That's why they're both the best scenes in the movie to me. But we'll get to that as we go through. So there's a lot of elements to a movie that make it good, right? Like you need characters that you can care about. You don't want these cardboard cutout dumb motherfuckers, right?
Right.
So you want that. And there are other elements that you need in film. And this checked 2 boxes in the first 10 minutes, right? Not the fight scene was great, but I'm talking about when he has a daughter, right?
Yeah.
Emotional element, check. You have it. You have some sort of sympathetic element to our main character to where we go, oh, he's not a bad guy. Because he's a rebel. He's like kind of doesn't give a fuck. But when it comes to his daughter, he cares. And that's his soft spot. So emotional, check. So I go, okay, I literally wrote emotional, check, daughter. Then literally 2 minutes later, they introduce another element. And I go, fantastic. They introduced the ticking clock element. He needs to come up with $10,000 so his ex-wife doesn't take his daughter and moves to Florida and take his daughter away from him. Perfectly set up. You set up that he loves his daughter. It's the only thing he has in his life. And oh my God, that's going to be taken away from him if he doesn't get this money. Only way he can get this money is if he gets his job back, which coincides with how he hunts vampires. Everything's tied together. And I'm like, yeah, that's how you write a story.
Right.
In the first 15 minutes, I understood everything I need to know about this movie. So just that whole setup checked those boxes for me. And I'm like, yeah, this is what you do. We've read so many bad movies that don't do this shit. And a fucking Netflix movie, a stupid horror comedy, does it. Like, bravo.
Well, that's what I was worried about, right? I was worried coming into this because I couldn't stand Project Power with Jamie Foxx, the other Netflix. I think that was his last Netflix movie.
But why would you compare them?
Because it's a Netflix movie with Jamie Foxx. So
the fuck does that have to do with anything?
Because it sucked.
Yeah, but it's totally different directors, totally different writers.
I understand.
What the fuck are you talking about?
I understand, but it's easy to go in there and say, man, that last movie that was big budget, Jamie Foxx as the lead, has like powers to it and stuff like that, was terrible. I was skeptical. I'm allowed to be skeptical.
No,
Jesus
but I'm
Christ.
saying if it doesn't have anything to do with, like every Paramount movie, are you like, fucking Jesus Christ, this is going to be...
I've been like this with most Netflix movies, though.
Okay.
I went in skeptical.
Okay.
Don't crucify me.
I'm not, dude. I'm not crucifying you. I'm just saying, give the other guys a chance.
I gave him a
The other
chance.
directors, the other,
Sure.
This had nothing to do with whatever show, whatever
Project
movie
Power. Did you ever see
Project
it?
Power. No, I didn't.
Oh my
watch
God, it was so fucking
Yeah, I did
bad.
not watch it. I did not watch
But
it.
I had a sense of worry because I was duped before. Is what
You
I'm
just
trying to say.
relate. I get it. You related it because it was the same star. I get it.
Same
I get
star,
it.
Netflix original, big budget, and
Yeah.
people are blowing it up and everything like that. Anyway, so I was worried about that. But I'm with you on the same page of, as soon as his daughter came into that truck the first time, I go, oh, dude, I love this relationship. I love Jamie Foxx. He's a great guy. He's a great dad. It is established early on. So great point. And I felt that throughout the movie. You go, oh my God, he really just genuinely cares about his family. The wife, he'll figure it out. Maybe they'll get back together. Who cares? It's all about the daughter. I'm a sucker for a father-daughter relationship. I don't know why in a movie.
Sure.
Yeah.
You just need your main character to have some sort of emotional investment in the story. And then you're like, okay, you have that. And then they go, we're adding on top. You got a ticking clock element to it now. So he is in a bind. And we just follow this dude for a week and that's it. There's no fucking. And then they slowly world build throughout the movie. To me, that was the best part of how they did it. Other movies fail, like R.I.P.D. and a couple other ones where like movies like Men in Black succeed, where they slowly reveal things to you, right? This movie slowly, it did not force feed you. There was not like one long exposition scene of like, okay, he's a vampire hunter. These are what the vampires are. This is who, there wasn't every scene had just a little fucking hint of, he adds lore. Then he goes and meets up with one of the best character actors, I think, of his time. Right? The guy who owns the pawn shop.
Oh my God.
He
the Russian
might be
dude?
one of the best character actors to ever exist.
Hands down.
So good. So good.
That's a part that is like, oh, he's first on our list. Like, we
Yeah.
know who our pawn shop owner, payer of goods is going to be. It's him. He's perfect.
Sure. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
We don't know what he is, though.
No.
We just walk in and we're like, oh, it's a back room of a pawn shop? What the fuck is going on, man?
Yeah.
Vampire teeth in this world are worth money.
Such an awesome idea.
They never explain why,
Mm-hmm.
which was a gripe with me. I'm like, well, explain why they're worth so much money.
Yeah, who's buying them? Or like, why is it, what are they doing with the teeth after the fact?
It was never explained.
Yeah.
And that was a part that I had a problem with. But like I said, they set the tone to where it wasn't a serious tone. So as long as you establish certain rules, you don't need to know why.
True.
It's just like, oh, the older the vampire teeth, the better. If it's an elder, it's worth more money. The younger ones aren't. Fine. You're establishing rules as they go. I don't need to know the reason behind the rule. Just give me the rule.
Sure.
And I go, okay, done. This is thought out. It's well written. It's good. Like, it's just a good movie, man. So he meets him and he's gonna get his problem solved.
quick.
He's gonna get his problem solved.
Yeah.
And no, dude.
Teeth ain't worth what he thought it was going to be.
No way. So then he has to get his old job back.
Yeah, man.
And then what happens next?
He's the vampire hunter. We know he's awesome from the jump, right? But the place that once hired him, the union, I guess you could call it. I think that's what it's called.
Yep.
He left on bad terms, Mikey. So it's like, well, I obviously have to go back there.
Yep.
And this was actually my worry about Snoop D-O-double-G.
Okay.
I thought that Snoop D-O-double-G was going to do a long exposition dump, and I'm glad he didn't.
Oh, okay.
I thought he was going to be the bridge into saying, he started off by saying like, yeah, man, you know, something, and da-da-da.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So
Yeah.
you just brushed by that they introduced Snoop Dogg's in this fucking movie.
Snoop D-O-double-G.
I had no idea.
Yeah,
He's like,
yeah.
oh, I gotta call someone. Da-da-da. Truck pulls up. He steps out. I'm like, Snoop's in this movie? What the fuck? I don't. What? Okay, I'll roll with it. I'll fucking
Sure.
roll with it.
And
so
it's perfect because it's a Cali movie. It's a Cali vibe kind of movie, right?
From the
Like-
moment it starts, it opens
Yeah.
with California Love.
Right. San Fernando Valley.
The opening song is California Love. So I go, okay, there's a tone being set here.
Right.
So he gets introduced to Snoop Dogg. Yep.
Yeah, and I was just...
We get introduced to Snoop Dogg.
You know what I mean, though, when I'm saying, like, I was just a little worried that maybe he was going to be a character that was just going to all of a sudden do an exposition dump,
Okay.
which we didn't need.
No, I was worried that he was just going to be a bad character.
Yeah, okay.
I didn't know what he was going to say. I was just like, oh my God, Snoop is going to ruin this. Because he's not an actor. Like,
No.
Snoop has a great personality, charisma
yeah.
coming out the asshole, but is he a good actor? I don't fucking know.
No,
you
he
know what I'm
was
saying?
fine in Training Day for a small role, and everything
Exactly.
else is just not acting.
He's not known as an actor.
No.
So I was that's what I was more skeptical about. I'm like, is he gonna ruin this fucking movie?
Right.
But they made his character like so different from who he is. That's why I think it worked.
Right.
Like, no, we're making him a black cowboy, like a black ghetto cowboy.
Who's the shit.
That's who we're making him.
Doesn't say much, but like knows the deal. Everyone loves him, from Dave Franco to the captain. Like, he's the guy that people trust at the Union.
So that's how you build a world. So they go into the underground Union part, right, where the office is. And without dumping exposition, you know Snoop Dogg has mad respect in this building. The fucking captain, they have a past, and they have a great relationship. And we know that Snoop Dogg has a lot of clout in here without dumping shit or flashbacks of what he did. It's just like, oh, I owe you one. And you get a vibe of, okay, I get it, without dumping exposition.
Right.
So I like how they handled that. And then they go to meet the captain to get Jamie Foxx's Jizab back.
Yeah. It's the same. Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I was saying, whoever played that captain, someone I had never seen before, I don't think I've ever seen before, and he was fantastic.
Absolutely.
He was fantastic. I just loved that guy. I loved him. I'll look him up while you go.
It's a cliche part, right? It's a cliche role, right? The not putting up with anything captain who's gonna, you're gonna get in trouble if you fuck up again. Like, we've seen that 1,000 times before, but something about this felt kind of fresh. He wasn't like over the top. He did exactly what he was supposed to do, and he stood out for me. I don't know who that guy is, but I already love that character.
Eric Lang. Yeah, Eric Lang. Yeah, just has some, small roles and small things. He's not really a well-known actor, so that's a big role. So to give it to this guy, it's ballsy.
Absolutely.
Sometimes you might want to put he's only in like 3 or 4 scenes, so it's like you might want to put a little cameo in there.
Sure.
You
Someone
get, like,
familiar. Yeah.
You get a big star cameo, throw him in there, film him for a week, and then you're done. But no, they're like, we're going to get this guy because he looks horrible in a mullet, and he plays that just gruff, doesn't want to be there, been working for 30 years, captain that hates Jamie Foxx and does not want to give him his job back.
Right.
And then he gets his job back because Snoop, vouches for him.
Right.
And now they set up another awesome, not even ticking clock, but another element that adds to the tension. That Dave Franco, who is an office clerk there basically, not a field agent, must go out into the field with him. And the captain secretly wants Dave Franco to write down a violation, because if fucking Jamie Foxx breaks one goddamn vampire union violation, he's gone, loses his wife and kids, and doesn't know, and that's all he cares about in the world. So that's just another added element of the story where it's typical, but at least they're doing it and putting the care into it of like, oh no, another layer's getting thrown on.
Right.
We have the ticking clock. We have the emotional aspect. Now we have I can't fuck up. So how is this relationship going to go?
Right.
And then you get the buddy cop element of the movie, which is kind of the main heart of the movie is the old buddy cop formula.
Sure.
Yep.
A lot of familiar formulas, but it's fine though, right? As long as you're doing them right.
Well, because it's meshed with a different idea.
Yeah.
That's why it works. It's not just like it's a buddy cop movie in a Los Angeles that's filled with vampires that is directed in a funny tone. I've never really seen that, you know?
No,
you got
absolutely.
like the R.I.P.D., I hate to keep mentioning, but it's very similar where that was handled like so wrong, even though I like that movie because it's shocking and horrible, but that was handled so wrong. This was handled right. So it's an old formula, but, I thought it worked out well. And I like Dave Franco. I know you hate him.
I can't stand
So
him.
I was worried that you're going to be like, oh, you hate the movie because of Dave Franco.
No, I don't hate the movie because of him. I just don't like him at all.
Wow.
I just don't like him. It's like here's Dave Franco for me on one end of the spectrum, and then there's fucking James. Like, it's just, I can't do it with him. There's something that pisses me off about his acting in general. Like, I don't even think he's a good actor.
This is perfect. See, I feel like this role is perfect for him. He either needs to play like the square, like very timid kind of person, or like in Neighbors, like the kind of like asshole-y punk kind of kid, whatever.
Sure.
Yeah. It's the two ends of the spectrum. Like, that's it. And like 21, he's great in 22 Jump Street or 21, whatever it is. He's great in that.
Yeah,
he plays that character like so well, that asshole fucking cocky senior in high school. He plays it very well. So I get that you don't like him.
Yeah, I don't like him.
But I feel like he was good for this role. I really do, because he's
I get it.
He's very timid, and he played that, scared, not typical, again, very formulaic character of the office worker who has to go out into the field. It's nothing new, but he played it good, I felt.
Yeah, so I think with him though, like the lines, it's not even just him. I think a lot of the one-liners didn't work in this movie. So
For
like,
comedy.
I think a
agree.
lot of
I
them
agree.
just didn't work.
100%
Didn't matter
agree.
who's coming from, Jamie Foxx, anybody.
Yeah.
But Dave Franco, I'm gonna always continue to have an issue with him. I hate how how you always say that I go from low to high to
With
low
your
to,
voice?
with my volume.
Yeah.
He's 10 times worse, and I hate it. He doesn't know how to control his voice ever, so his outbursts are too outbursty.
Ooh, okay.
He's too quietness is too quiet.
Okay.
I hate the mannerisms. Like I get why he's famous, Mikey. I get it. I get
'Cause
why
his
he's out
brother's
there.
famous, yeah.
1000%. So like these are the roles he's gonna get, and it's fine. Some people I'm sure loved this role. I'm on the other side. I just didn't like him in it.
But you don't like him in anything, right?
I don't like him in most things,
So,
yeah.
so that it's like it's never going to win you over.
Sure.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
I don't love him or hate him. I just kind of sometimes I like him, sometimes I'm like, whatever, you know.
Yeah.
This I feel like is a good role for him because he's not playing that cocky asshole, which we've seen a bunch. He can do it, but it's like we've seen it. This was like, no, he's playing that timid. I think he plays that role well. He was innocent enough that by the end, I bought his excitement and his enthusiasm about how the movie ended. We'll get into it when we get into spoilers. I bought it. I bought that because of how he started and then how he ended up. I really did buy that.
Don't get me wrong. I liked their relationship, right? It's like I loved Jamie Foxx in this. I love his character. I love him as an actor, but I liked their relationship. You knew it was going to be like a I'm here to fuck you kind of thing on Dave Franco's part.
Here to fuck you.
Well, I mean, he might have tried to. I don't know. But you knew that they were going to be friends. Like you just need that. It's like a buddy cop thing. But you're right. It's
Same thing.
not we're here to drug bust. We're here to fucking hunt vampires. Like it's a really good premise. So I'm giving them credit for doing that. I just wish it was a different actor. But it's fine. I'm always gonna have that grudge against them. Don't know why, but I'm going to.
Okay.
Yeah. I
That's
can't move past it.
That's totally, it's you don't like him. But he's there also because he knows the rules and he knows all the lore into vampires. So the first scene that they're together when they go into the bowling alley, they explain that there's like different kinds of vampires. And I'm like, oh, all right, that's cool. Like there's different sorts of vampires. Because the opening scene, this fucking old lady, like that's why I say Evil Dead. It's because it was not just, I don't like vampires. So I do not like vampire. They're my least favorite monster. I'll take any other monster over a vamp. I really
agree.
will.
I really agree with you there.
I do not like vampires. I'm done with them. I don't care. Daybreakers was good because it was creative. They took over the world. A different idea I will like, but they're too plain for me. They're too like, you get the teeth and you get like whatever. Give me like a Dracula or something. Then that's fine. But I don't like when they're going up strictly against vampires. They're not my favorite. But if you have, so that's what made me nervous when I was, these are vampires? Okay.
Yeah.
But that first scene, I go, no, you could look at this as a Deadite. Every single thing this thing does was like a Deadite from Evil Dead.
Sure.
It was literally, there was no difference between it. The body contortions and the things flipping, and it wasn't a normal vampire.
Busting through walls.
Stake through the heart, and then they burn up. Like, it wasn't that. So I was like, oh, they're calling them vampires, but the main ones that you have good practical effect shots of are more like Deadite zombie monster things that can contort their bodies and twist and do all this fucked up shit. So I'm like, no, it's not really like a vampire. It's more like a fucking, Deadite.
You could put it there, sure. And I see the reasons why. But I wanted to see this with the juvies, because that's what they were called, right? When they said that they were going to hunt juvies, I wanted to see little kid vampires and see them fucking destroy and murder kid vampires. But instead, they're fucking 22-year-old teenagers.
Yeah, 22-year-old teenagers?
Well, they're playing teenagers.
Oh, because they have the jackets on.
But they're fucking old.
Yeah, so they bust into the, because his whole goal is to get teeth, right?
No, that's his only goal.
And there is a plot hole, though. You notice a plot hole with the teeth.
I can't say I did, Michael. What is it? What's the plot hole with the teeth?
Oh, it's the most obvious goddamn thing, and I'm surprised. But again, I haven't watched any like reviews on this or anything, so I don't. People might have been pointing it out. I have no idea. So we learn in a dope opening scene of the villain, the main villain of this movie, who is a woman, a realtor, who is buying up all the properties to move vampires in so that they can basically take over the valley, right, in Los Angeles. So that's her goal. But, dude, that opening scene where she buries the vampire forever, that is badass. Like, she literally has a vampire caged under a fucking crate where they're about to pour cement. And she's like, oh, maybe we'll dig you up in 1,000 years when we're running the valley. And they just dump cement on him, and he's like screaming as they do it. He's going to be just frozen in the cement for 1,000 years. Like, that's crazy, dude.
Yeah, no, it was a crazy concept that made me feel like claustrophobic for a second.
Like, that's a great idea. That's just a great, terrifying idea. It reminded me of like Psycho Gorman with these creative ideas of like, oh, you're going to be in an eternal thing of pain. Like, things that I haven't seen before. Like, I haven't seen that before. Oh, a vampire movie. Let's bury a vampire in cement.
Right.
That's horrifying to think about if you're a vampire.
Absolutely.
Because you ain't going to die.
No.
You're just going to be you don't need to breathe. You don't, like they say in this, you don't poop or piss. So you're just going to sit there. It's terrifying to me. It's so terrifying.
No, it really is. It's
terrifying.
like Hans in the fucking, when he gets, in Star Wars. It's the same thing. It's just like, ooh, you're going to be in there forever.
Yeah,
you're
it's bad.
You're going to be alive.
Yeah, literally alive. Like,
I wasn't expecting that. I thought the umbrella was going to leave and he was just going to get burned up. But instead, concrete, and it's a way worse fate.
vicious. Fucking vicious, man.
Plot
vicious.
hole, though.
Plot hole. So, like we said, they're selling the vampire teeth, right? Plucking them out, do a little x-ray, they go pop, 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 pop. So, our guy, the pawn shop guy, who Jamie Foxx goes to see, the teeth are cheap, da-da-da. The lady who, let's say, Jamie Foxx killed in the beginning, has some sort of connection to our main villain, we learn. So, now we have another element. Threat, check. So all these boxes were being checked for me. I'm like, fantastic. Now we have a threat that is connected to our main character. So there's a lot of shit going on now with our main character and our story that is keeping me intrigued and involved in this stupid horror comedy. Love it. So the plot hole. The lady goes to, and this is kind of minor spoiler. It's not really, it happens in the first like 30 minutes. So it's not really a spoiler,
Yeah. It's a first act
She
spoiler.
goes to the pawn shop because that's where she connected the teeth to. So goes to the pawn shop, interrogates our guy. Who brought you these teeth? Okay. So scene cuts. We're like, okay, we assume she killed him because he's like, fuck you, whatever.
You hear him scream, Jamie Foxx is in the bowling alley.
Sure. You're like, okay, but we don't know what happened to him. Whatever.
No.
Cuts, right? Then, I don't know, 5 minutes later, Jamie Foxx and Dave Franco show up to check in on him, okay? And what on the table, dude?
What was it?
You don't remember what was on the table spelled out?
No, hence why I just asked. What was it?
Bud? His name?
Okay.
Full shot. So it was spelled out in vampire teeth. Bud. B-U-D. All in vampire teeth.
Okay. So what's the problem?
You don't see a plot hole there?
No, because he has teeth there. Yeah, but so what are you saying is the plot hole, though?
Those teeth are worth. What do you mean? They were in the guy's collection.
So he can just
What are you talking about? He just grabbed the teeth.
He can just snag them.
Bring them back to the Union and fucking.
Oh, shit. Didn't even think that. Don't even remember seeing Bud in the thing. Maybe I looked away for a second. I don't know.
Yeah.
Wow,
you probably
dude.
looked away because they made it a point. They showed it like 3 times. Like, that's
shit.
that's how he knows that
Yeah.
someone's after them. It's because Bud is spelled out on the thing.
Yeah.
And then later on, she's like, it was the last thing he said. Spelled out in expensive vampire teeth.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
Literally,
100
I'm
grand.
going,
Yeah.
like, dude, you literally just grab that. I'm like, all those teeth would be worth at least 10 grand.
Oh, no, your
like,
problems
there's
are solved.
Not
Yeah.
even a doubt about it. So. I don't know. That was a little bit of a plot hole. Like, don't just spell it out in some blood. Like, don't spell it out in the currency that we're using.
The goal.
Literally, what he's trying to do, ripping out vampire teeth to make money.
Right.
They're sitting right there behind a pawn shop of the guy who probably has some of the most expensive vampire teeth because people bring them to sell them to him.
And you know what else he's got? Cash.
Yeah.
The point is, you can just fucking,
Of
your
course,
money
like,
problems are solved.
Sure, like it's just that was
That's
a
a good
plot
point.
hole
Wow.
for me where I was like, if he just grabbed some of the teeth and was like, all right, now I don't have to worry about the money or something, and then maybe it bothered me. It bothered
That
me.
is
So
very odd.
yeah. So it bothered me.
Oh, shit. Good
Yep.
catch, man.
So that was the plot hole that I saw.
Wow. Yeah, no, right over my head. So,
Fine, no worries.
But it's like, it's like if you needed $1 million in cash and it was spelled out Bud and just stacks of cash.
Yeah.
And he just ignores it and leaves the fucking office. It's like, dude,
like-
your problems are gone.
Yeah. So many teeth, like
Yeah.
so many fucking teeth, man.
Yeah.
So that
Did
was
you
the
like the
problem.
juvie scene?
When he goes in the bowling alley? I thought it was choreographed pretty well. I thought it was fine. It was fine.
I wanted more, and again, I was going back. It would have been more effective if it was kids. I think
It
it would have
would've
been
been-
cooler if it was little 8, 9-year-old kids, not
Sure.
5-year-olds, 8, 9-year-old kids, and they're just blasting them away like, oh. But you
Yeah.
get the explanation before, right? They can't reproduce. So I liked the dump from Dave Franco for rules, for
Yep.
explanations of zombies, Jesus Christ, of vampires.
The different types of them.
Different
Yep.
types. But I will say later in the house with the brothers, which we'll
Well,
get to.
yeah, we'll get to that. Yeah.
Okay,
We'll get
you
to that
know what I'm
scene.
going to say about the different types.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, we'll get there. All right,
Yeah,
all
because
right,
that's
all
the
right,
other scene that I was saying.
Oh, absolutely.
So yeah, so then they're out, and I guess we can get to that scene because
Yeah, it's pretty close
I don't
after.
know. Yeah, it's pretty close after that.
So he even says to Dave Franco, like, oh, fuck, man, obviously I need the money, right? I need to collect. So this is the mission. So now you have it shows Dave Franco more understanding of the situation. He knows what's going on.
And
Well, no, go ahead.
but no, before the hive scene,
Yep.
we're building the relationship between Dave Franco and Jamie Foxx.
Right.
He's helping him because in the juvie scene, what happens? Dave Franco comes in and basically has his first encounter with real vampires,
Yeah.
and gives him the shotgun and whatever. So that kind of starts to build their relationship. That's the first thing. Because
Right.
before that, Jamie Foxx is like treating him like a fucking asshole,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
And so that was the first chink in the armor
Right.
of where Jamie Foxx was like, all right, you know what? I think this kid might be okay. I'm not going to show it yet,
Yeah.
but I'll be nice to him, you know what I
And
mean?
he's concerned about his safety, though, right?
100%.
He, in this world, guys, too, as if you've seen it, whatever, but it leaves a remnants on you, a stench. So you have to
Yes.
put this powder or like this what a solvent that he
It's the
made.
orange powder from Prey, basically. You just have to put it all over you. That's
Yeah,
what it is.
it really is,
Yeah.
dude. And it's like he could have look, if he wanted Dave Franco to die, don't have him put the powder on and have vampires come kill him. So it's like, hey,
yeah.
there's a concern for him.
But he's not that
can't-
bad. Yeah, Jamie Foxx isn't that bad of a guy.
Not at
No,
all.
no,
He's
no.
concerned about him. He knows I will see you tomorrow. And
Yep.
at the end of the day, he is looking at him as a sidekick for help.
For sure. No question.
He's not there yet.
No.
But he will come in handy. You need me to throw him a shotgun?
Yep.
Boom, he's your guy. You know what I'm saying?
That
So-
was the first little scene that was cool. And even though it might not have been the most intricate choreographed scene, it's still every shotgun blast that you get, you feel it. They're flying 10 feet. Like they made a commitment to where every fight scene, every vampire killing scene felt the same.
Yeah.
Felt like it was directed by the same person. Felt like none were cheaper than the others. I do have a problem with them, but that I'll get to in a bit. But they all felt like they were done by the same person and the same team. None of them were like, oh, this is second unit. Like this bowling alley scene was filmed second unit because there's only two fucking
Right.
dudes and then one girl. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
There's all
yeah.
little creative things when he's like, duck, and what? Duck. Doom shoots it. Like, there's creative things that were happening to keep me intrigued, even though they're not going to go in there and die, right?
No.
So I did like that. So their relationship's building. Then next day, they're waiting out in the truck because they got a tip that there is vampires in a house in a new community.
It's a hive, right? So it's an easy score if you're Jamie
No,
Foxx.
they didn't know it was a hive. They had no idea it was a hive.
Oh, they just knew there's vampires
No
in
idea
the,
it was
in
a
the
hive.
house. Okay.
Nope.
Oh,
they
yeah,
didn't know
that's
which.
right.
Yeah, they didn't know which
Yeah,
house.
yeah.
They got a tip that there were vampires living in one of these new built houses, and then a truck comes rolling by, dude.
The Zanzari brothers, or the fuck their name
Is that?
yeah.
Oh, I didn't know if you knew what it was called.
No, I don't know.
So it's these Russian brothers, and Dave Franco's like, "Oh my God, they're like the best hunters in town." And Jamie Foxx is like, "Yeah." So they stop, and one of them is played by Kevin from Shameless.
Love him.
And the other, did you notice the other guy?
No, who was it?
What? You
No,
recognize
didn't
him,
recognize
Mikey?
him. Who was it?
It's your boys.
Who?
It's the stunt dude who's been on Corridor Crew like 3 times.
Fuck, didn't even
you
recognize him,
fucking
but I know
kidding
exactly
me?
what you're talking about now. Yeah.
He's been John Wick. He's
Yeah,
done
yeah,
stunts
yeah.
on John Wick. I assume that's why he got this part. He's like the most
Probably.
charming dude ever on Corridor. Everybody like loves him.
Yeah.
He's been in like 2 or 3 of their videos.
Didn't even recognize
Like
him.
a tall English dude. It's like people love him.
He's
and
great.
I've watched his videos. I go, that's fucking him. That's fucking the guy from Corridor Crew. I'm shocked you didn't recognize him.
I am too, because
Wow.
I'm a fucking giant fan of Corridor.
Yeah, exactly.
I know. But
So-
it's like a thing where it's like, well, they're clearing out the valley, man. These guys are good, Maybe we can do a little 50-50 on this real quick and just
Yeah.
knock it out. And they're like, yeah, cool.
But
So-
that,
yeah,
no, but they pull up and they're talking, and I'm like, oh my God, they're gonna hate each other. It's gonna be like this fucking, oh, hey, kid, bro. I did like Kevin doing the act. I love
Yeah,
them doing
yeah,
the
yeah.
accents. It's just so funny how they made him Russian,
I
you know?
Nice, bro. Yes.
I got 6.
You got 6, I got 5. I'll catch you up.
I love that, like, broken English.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
funny to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm with you.
It's not when I'm talking about when you're doing it for comedic purposes.
Yeah, and with a character and actor that you like.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, and it's like, oh no, they're gonna fucking team up. That subverted my expectations.
Totally.
I did not think they were gonna team up. I thought it was gonna be like a battle to get to the house where they was gonna be like, fuck you, and they were gonna ruin their hunt.
Yeah.
It was like, oh no, they're gonna team up. That's fucking awesome.
And they have the
I
shimmy,
had
shimmy,
no
yaw, walk slow mo,
Exactly.
dude. I was
I
like,
had
oh, this
no-
is cool. It's gonna be a cool scene.
I did not think. I thought they were gonna beef basically.
Yeah.
And they didn't. They got
No.
along, and they decided to go in there and do it together. Yep.
Yeah, it was a fun scene. Oh, are you gonna say this rival with the opening?
This.
Yeah. I know what you mean.
The choreography in this scene
Yeah.
is some of the best fight gun choreography you will ever see with knives, with guns, with fighting, with
Partner working together.
partners working together, throwing things to each other, things dropping through walls. Everything is done so precise. And I had not looked up who directed this when I was watching it, not until like an hour in. And then once I saw that it was a stunt supervisor and this was his first movie, I go, okay, now I get it.
It's a common tale these days, right?
Now I get why all the stunts and all the choreography is done so well.
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I was going to say that is a common tale for good, solid films with choreography is that you're taking a stunt coordinator and having them direct.
Sure.
Yeah. So it's just like it bleeds through the film though.
Yeah,
You
'cause
see that.
that's
and
what
it's
they're
care.
worried about.
It's
Like-
all care.
Yep.
Care is throughout this entire film when it comes to the stunt choreography for sure.
So that scene was awesome,
Oh,
man,
it was
and
so
nothing really went wrong. I was like, okay, something's gonna go wrong here.
I thought one of the
whether-
brothers was going to get bit. Something.
I didn't know if the brothers were gonna fuck him over because you don't know. I didn't know what was gonna happen. I just go, something's gonna go wrong, and nothing really goes wrong.
No.
Bunch of vampires come out and it's great. But did you? Because you were gonna say something about that scene before. You're like, oh, the hive scene. I have a problem. Like you had a problem or something with it. You were gonna
I
say
said
something.
earlier.
Yeah,
I had a problem with the hive.
You were
scene?
like the hive scene. I'm like, oh, we'll get to it. You know, and you're like, okay.
Fuck. I don't know if
I don't know
I
if
had
you
a
said problem, but you were saying something about it.
the hive
yeah.
scene. I think I was just going to talk about Kevin and how awesome I liked him, but
Oh, okay.
ooh, yeah, no, I don't think I had an issue.
Okay,
No.
this is where I started to have an issue and where I noticed something, and I go, oh, God damn it. Fuck, man, I hate this. And it's a budgetary reason, obviously. It's
Okay.
just, there's no other, answer for it rather than budget and time and all that shit. It sucks because I hate it, and it didn't ruin it for me, but it extended to the end. Because up to this point, we had not had a lot of vampires together, right?
Yeah.
In the same place.
True.
This is the first time where you got like 20 to 30 vampires. So you get like one or two maybe close-ups of their face. Other than that, you don't see their face. They're wearing like a sweatshirt and a hat or just a color, plain clothes. You don't see their face. They just look like generic people. I see it all the time in low-budget zombie movies where they have no money and they have to show like a bunch of zombies. You barely see their faces and they're all dressed in like 1990s jeans and like a sweatshirt and just a hat, and they just all look so generic and the same. There were no Think of the first old lady vampire.
Yeah.
And then think of the vampires you saw in the hive scene.
Right.
Not even comparable. It looks
No.
like a student film dress them and make up them or whatever
Right.
compared to the opening scene. So that is a big problem for me.
It's like it's like what they call the third tier zombies on The Walking Dead.
No question.
It's just like, oh, you're in the background. You
This
don't really
would be
need that
10th
too
tier
much.
in Walking Dead,
Yeah,
Mikey.
yeah.
Go back, rewatch the hive scene. You barely get any.
Yeah.
I think maybe the girl that was on Dave Franco.
The
you might-
contortionist, yeah.
Yeah, you might see her. She had some
Sure.
prosthetics and stuff.
Everyone else is generic, yeah.
Other than that,
you
you
pop
barely,
some eyes in maybe and you're good.
And maybe,
yeah, maybe.
right? But it wasn't. I was like, I
Gray
hate
up the skin.
I hate the clothes. I
Yeah,
hated
yeah.
everything about it. They all looked so like I don't know. I just didn't like the way they looked. But besides that, the choreographing, the throwing the weapons to each other, loved it.
Yeah, I remember what I was gonna say now about the hive place
Ooh,
or whatever. So
hive place.
Dave Franco's going around talking about that's a da-da-da, that's a
Yes,
spider or something.
yes. This is what you were gonna say.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. So he's going around saying about all the different people, and two things: it never comes back to fruition, and it's never
Okay.
explained why is it such a big deal that they're all together. It's just like, oh, they've never been together before. I'm like, okay.
Oh my God, you're so right.
But I
oh
don't-
wait, no, I think it does come back.
When?
It's that she's buying up all the property to basically get all the vampires to move in and take over.
But
That,
why
I
it's a
think
one house?
That's what.
And like, why is it
just
such
all
a,
in like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because they live in hives basically. So she's trying. I think that's the only connection I can make with that.
All right.
Is that they did make that a big deal? Yeah,
They made
you're
it
right,
a huge
you're right,
deal.
You're right.
And I'm like, well, so, but
Yeah.
what's the big deal?
Okay.
I don't know.
What's the other problem? You were gonna say two things.
No, I think I just said the
You're like
two.
first thing.
Yeah, first thing, it never comes back.
Yeah,
into
and second
fruition.
thing-
There's no explanation.
Explanation.
Of-
But what never comes back into fruition?
Like the whole thing with different vampires having like like they can't be together. What's the beef and never?
Isn't that the
that's
same thing though? Why is that two different things?
Okay, sure, it's the same thing.
It's
Sure,
the
sure,
same
sure,
thing.
sure,
Okay,
It's
sorry.
never explained, and it's never
Because I have
explained.
another problem.
Oh,
They didn't cut away to him. They
To
didn't
show
go,
them, yeah,
they didn't go,
yeah,
oh,
yeah, yeah.
that's
And
a
they just show,
southern.
like,
that's
like
a
on the
southern.
ground.
Boom, cut away. That's
Spider
a
guy or
That's a
whatever.
spider. Show it. Dude, they didn't. They just
Yeah.
were like, and I'm like, budget. If you look at the way they're dressed,
Budgetary.
I'm telling you, go back watch that hive scene. It must have just been budgetary. We're like, we can't prosthetic all these people. They're just going to be generic bad guys that you'd see in any dumb movie.
Dude,
they didn't even look like vampires. It was so dumb.
Think back to Blade, okay? Think back to the
Well,
first
let's-
one.
yeah.
Well, I'm just saying, when you see the fat dude and the fucking, hey, Blade, how's it going?
Yeah.
It's just like awesome.
But
It's
that's
just,
comparing it to. You can't compare that. That's different. That's way different, Mikey. That's a fucking. What do they call those? Like the money shot, you know.
yeah, well, give us some mini shots. Give us some
in,
mini
in,
monies.
in that scene,
mini
you
money
need
shots.
at least 3 special, really good prosthetic vampires.
Totally.
They did not have them.
One of his things fucking coming out
The
of his
old
neck.
lady in the beginning was fantastic. Like
Yeah,
that,
100%.
that's what you need.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Instead, we didn't get any of that. You just
yeah,
got the
yeah.
girl kind of flipping over, and you're like, okay. Everyone else was just like generic shit.
Yeah.
So, but the scene was great.
It was a great scene.
Scene was awesome. I loved it. Like I can't wait. That's why I'm gonna rewatch the movie because I love. It's not just like Prey that we did last week, where we're like we don't really want to rewatch it because are the scenes that we want to see worth everything in between?
Worth the squeeze.
I don't think so.
No, I don't
right?
think so. No.
But I think in this it has enough fun to it. It's just
Yeah.
a fun movie.
Yeah.
It's just an entertaining and fun movie, so it has enough to it to get you to the next great set piece and the next great scene, and you care about the characters. And so I think this is a rewatchable movie in that sense.
Yeah, I in the last 5-6 years, and I never used to be like this.
Okay.
I became a sucker.
Yep.
For good action choreography. I don't know why,
course.
but I never really was the biggest action person before. I
neither.
like some action films here and there, but you give me good action in a horror film, or just good action, good solid choreography with care. That's why I'm gonna watch Nobody.
Yes.
That's why I'm gonna watch John Wick, the first one, in fucking 30 times, and
yeah.
I'm gonna watch this one again. Absolutely,
Yeah, no question.
Yeah.
Yep. And Jamie Foxx was good in it.
Yeah.
I thought Jamie Foxx was good in it. There were times where it switched tones, like you were saying before, kind of
Sure.
quickly, where excuse me, he was like really mean at the beginning of the bowling alley scene, and then like really nice afterwards. And it was like, okay, I see they're trying to be comedic here, and okay, I get it. But sometimes that didn't mesh well
Yeah.
for me. I was like, he's just being a dick the whole time, and now all of a
know.
sudden he's just like being really nice. Like, need to be more of a slower build up to that.
Sure.
But I thought overall Jamie Foxx he's a talented dude, man. He could just he could sing, "Come give me money," you know what I mean? He can fucking act.
Well, he has that charisma, right? He has like
has
that
that-
star quality that only like a few people today can do.
But he can
that.
act though.
100%.
Like The Rock has that star quality, but he's not the best actor
No.
because he plays the same in every movie.
No, Jamie Foxx holds weight.
He
It's
can
like-
act.
Yeah, and he can carry a movie.
No question.
Yeah.
No question.
He's perfectly
So-
cast for a movie like this.
Yeah, and usually, I'm not trying to get racial, but it's like you don't see this, in theory, in the past would have gone to like a white guy.
Yeah.
The only other one you have is like Blade. You know what I'm
it's
saying?
true.
The other ones, like the movies like R.I.P.D. and like the ones like it's all like white dudes, and it's like no, like this. They're like we're making this in L.A.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be fucking dope and like have a cool vibe to it.
Yeah,
And you
yeah.
get that when your main dude is Jamie Foxx,
Right.
like one of the most talented African American people in the industry, and he holds the goddamn movie. Usually, this is like it's like a white role, like they give it to a a white dude or whatever,
The white vampire
Besides
hunter.
Blade, yeah,
Yeah.
it's like so I liked how it was like, no, this is a different, updated style of a movie. The director
Mm-hmm.
knew what he wanted to do. He's like, I'm making this cool, quote unquote, hood version of the Lost Boys
Yeah.
or whatever, right? Because of the last line, it's a
well.
tribute to the Lost Boys. So
And there's a fair in the beginning, right?
of course, yeah, but I don't know if I buy that, homage as much, but
Yeah.
But I respected that. Like they're like, no, we're gonna make a good movie, but we're gonna have our culture the director's not black, but like, the actor, we're gonna have
Sure.
our culture in just threaded all throughout the movie. So I respected that it wasn't just like, oh, another white fucking Ryan Reynolds playing the
Right.
fucking vampire hunter.
Right.
It's like, no, let's
And he could have.
Of course, because it's a stereotype of like, and black people say this, to be like, we ain't fucking with no monsters, like we ain't fucking with no, you know what I mean? It's like a
Yeah.
joke on SNL and
Yeah.
all these other shows. So it's like it's going against type. It's like, no, that's why Blade like went against type, but
Right.
it was very serious, way different.
Oh, yeah.
But this one was like, oh yeah, like no, like black, like this black dude, Jamie Foxx, he's gonna do this too.
Right.
He's a badass monster hunter. Let's go. Fuck these white ones. I want the black ones.
Yeah.
I want the black ones. I want a cowboy dope Snoop Dogg.
Yeah.
In my goddamn vampire movie. That's what I want. So I just loved how it took its chance doing that.
Yeah.
Without threading like politics through it, where
Totally.
like they made it a point. It was like, no, they're just making a good movie. So I had to say that because I really did love that.
I'm glad
aspect
there was
to
no
it.
politics in it.
Yeah.
Right? And Snoop Dogg adds that kind of the hip hop flavor to it. With the music and
The
the
music,
soundtrack.
I was gonna say the music
Yeah.
is just all
Oh, the
hip-hop.
music's
Yeah.
fucking great.
Oh, absolutely.
It was a great choice throughout the film, from the opening to Shimmy Shimmy Ya to
Oh, great.
the ending. The action scenes, you're gonna have the harder kind of rock, but like rock rap for some of them. So I was on board with that too.
Body count.
Yeah.
Body count.
Body count.
Body
Yeah.
count. I was like, sounds good. You
Yeah,
know?
no, it's working for the scene.
Loved it. Loved it.
That was also a good scene.
You know what else I loved?
Oh, yeah.
no, sorry.
No,
You were
I
gonna
was
say
gonna
something.
say something I wasn't really on board with.
Oh, okay. Then I do want to hear that.
Okay. I was not on board with the main villain.
I knew you were gonna say that.
Yeah.
Why?
I didn't feel the threatening tone from her. I would have liked it better if
Really?
it was a guy.
Yeah, you have that problem. I know.
Not always.
When
You
name
don't
me an
like women in
example
film.
Name me an example where you don't.
Where I don't like women.
No, where there's a villain that you were like, oh, I like that was a girl. You know.
You're gonna hate me, but in my first review, I was on board with Doctor Sleep's villain, and then now I'm not.
I know you were, and I'm like, what are you talking about? She was one of the worst.
So I just gave you an example.
But there's no actions of threat there, is what I'm trying to say.
I didn't think she was threatening in this, and like the whole
The first scene, she's buried one of her own in
Yeah.
cement.
Yeah, give me a dude.
What else do you need?
Give me a dude.
See, no, but that's a great comparison for fucking Jules the Hat or whatever her name is from fucking Doctor Sleep.
Yeah.
Compared to this bitch,
Yeah.
she's fucking badass,
Yeah,
cabrón.
she's all right. No.
She's so, dude, she was great.
I didn't like the cabrón
you're fucking horrible.
I
She
love
was
women.
great.
You don't, but I just don't like
what-
women in this.
Dude, she was awesome.
She was fine.
I don't know. You just said you didn't like her.
I didn't like her. She did okay.
Okay, now you're changing your tone here, so I don't know what's going on.
She did okay. The actress did fine in what she had to do. I just was like, I just would have liked the guy vampire. Maybe I'm just a sucker for an old-fashioned
You're a sucker for guys. We get it, dude.
Not always.
We totally get it,
Not
man.
always, dude, but I am a
100%.
sucker for certain
I thought she was a perfectly fine villain. It went against type. This movie was a lot against type.
Yeah.
I don't know. Instead of having a white ass Steven Dorff getting cut in half, you have a badass Latinx woman, right? Everybody
all.
loves to say Latinx. It's a politically correct term. I'm sure every Spanish person loves that term.
Yeah, no, they absolutely do.
They
We have friends that prefer it.
They go, if
Yeah.
you don't say
How dare you?
Latinx, I will never be your friend again.
We were friends
And-
for 20 years.
Exactly. And one time we didn't, and
See you
let's
later.
just say, Jose, it's been a long time.
Yeah, and if you're listening,
And we know you are. We're sorry.
just hit the like button. Anyway.
So what I was gonna say
Yeah, what were you gonna say?
is I like the practical effects.
Oh yeah.
I like the practical effects, like when
Sure.
arms would get ripped off or when things would get. There was a lot of practical effects in this film that I appreciated.
Absolutely. Again, I can't stop saying it, just like you can't stop saying RIPD. Care.
Yeah,
The care is in the details, from the practicals, from the choreography, from the story, from the actors, from the characters.
yeah. The
It just looked great.
The practicals were good, man.
Yeah.
Even in the, I guess we can get to the finale now.
Sure.
I still had that problem, but I didn't know if they were familiars because they're like, oh, they couldn't, at the end, they're like, we couldn't kill familiars, but they basically so this is what I compared it to Dylan Dog, because there's a scene where Jamie Foxx gets taken to his house where the main bad girl has his family ready to fucking destroy his whole life.
Sure.
Bite the little girl, kill the mom, whatever.
Kind of what she did.
So what happens is she bit Dave Franco, and Dave Franco becomes a vampire. And early on, I go, hey, if they make Dave Franco become a zombie or vampire, I'm like, this is just like Dylan Dog, because that's exactly what happens to Dylan Dog. His assistant gets fucking killed, and he becomes a zombie, and he like is with him the whole time, but he's like all fucked up, and he's like, oh fuck, I need an arm, and they get an arm for him and shit. Like, so it's very similar in that way. I was like, oh, they kind of took a lot of things from a lot of different movies, but made it good. So they were kind of stealing from other movies of this genre of a monsters living among the real world, right? They were taking elements from a lot of other movies, but they made it good. So I'm giving them credit for that. But I did like how they actually killed Dave Franco. Like he chopped his head off.
I thought he was done from the film.
Oh, I knew he was going to come back.
I didn't.
Oh, okay. Because they mentioned earlier that it's rumored that they can survive without their heads off. So I go, oh, he's going to come back.
And he did, and they did it in the...
but that's a setup and a payoff, Michael.
That's exactly what happened.
It's a setup and a payoff. That's all I'm saying.
I was on board with that, and it's like you're getting the side of someone you're familiar with and getting just the description of what it's like to be a vampire. Yeah. Right? And like seeing like, oh, I want blood and heart's on fire, stuff like that, but also I'm a good guy, so I'm here to help. And she fucking turned me...
He didn't say his heart's on fire. He said he feels like...
His blood's on fire.
Yeah, blood's on fire. There
so he's there to help, and he's there to get the awesome villain back for what she did to him. Yeah. I was on board with that.
Exactly. Yeah. No, I liked how because you don't think that the partner is going to get their fucking head cut off. No. That's all I'm saying. So it's cool that they did that.
Sure.
You know?
I agree.
I kind of bought it. I was like, why would the villain leave? I'm like, all right, I guess that his partner's going to eat him. You need some sort of... You have to suspend your belief, as you say, and buy that the villain would leave him there.
Right.
Because in reality, no. She'd probably just chop his fucking head off into 8 pieces and
100%.
done. But it's fine. So... The ending, right?
Yeah.
Let's get to the ending.
Team up.
This is the team up now. So he has a neighbor who's also a vampire, was asked to watch him basically.
A spy.
But she turns out to be good.
She's also good.
So it's the team up. It's the 3 of them. They're going in after because the daughter and mother are being held at the final... Their hideout, their secret hideout place, which first of all, let me say, that final set was fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
That final set was so well done. I was like, they really built this. Like, this is in a soundstage.
Yeah,
like,
100%.
They're going through the fucking tunnels, and then they go down the stairs, and then the big room at the end. I'm like, this doesn't look like a Marvel movie where they're just on a blue screen and they're just running.
There's some tight squeezes. Good camera movement.
It looked like they built this. Like, they really built this. And I appreciate that when the things are there. Mm-hmm. I can feel it. The wall, like I felt the wall. I felt when the zombies were busting out at him and Snoop Dogg. I felt that. I felt there was a really dirt and wall, and they were coming out of the wall. It wasn't fucking CGI. So I just like how it's practical. Anything practical, I'm gonna love. So the final, I wrote down just the final set was awesome. I love the design of the set and how I actually built it. So
yeah, I'm a sucker for a great layer. If you get a cool layer, whatever the villain is, right? Make a dope layer, make it look real.
Yes.
I'm on
No,
board.
Make it real.
Make it
Mikey, don't make it look real. You want to make it real.
Yeah,
you want to make it. No fucking
building.
No fucking computer dudes just fucking typing. We want real carpenters in there doing their goddamn thing.
I'm with you on that.
So, Snoop shows up.
Yep,
they're in trouble, gun. And I love that scene.
Oh, it's awesome.
He shows up with his fucking giant ass machine gun and just. It's like a video. It's just awesome.
It's a video game.
It's fun.
Yeah.
Just not serious. It's like fun. It's like, oh, the perfect time. Boom.
Cuts
Snoop
down 100.
breaks through with the car, comes out with the gun. Like, yeah, this dumb hero moment, but it's just fun. You just go along with it. Don't take it too seriously. It's a fun movie.
Yeah, and you were kind of waiting for Snoop Dogg to return so that him and Jamie Foxx could battle vampires.
Sure, like maybe, I wasn't because I'm just saying I wasn't. I wasn't expecting Snoop to come back. I really wasn't. So maybe I just forgot about him. You know what I'm saying?
It's possible.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things. There's a lot going on.
I just forgot. I was just like, oh, Snoop's in it. He's not going to come back for the end. He helped him out, and then maybe he'll show up in the last scene when they're sitting at the desk all ready. You know,
you got him, homie. Yeah.
So when he did bust it, I'm like, oh, love it. The fucking feet, just it's shot stereotypical, but it's the hero moment, and it's cliche, but it works for me because it's just fun.
Right.
And of course, let's bring out a giant fucking gun that just mows down fucking vampires, dude.
And the threat's gone like that for now until they
mowing down Vance with my best friend Bud. Mowing down Vance with my best friend Bud. Did you hear that at the end?
Teeth.
Did you know
was that
at
in the
end?
credits?
Yeah, they made a mix of it.
No.
Oh,
no.
dude, it was
I
so
heard when his song
funny.
came on at the end, but then I stopped when the
No,
credits started.
so
Yeah, yeah.
funny, man. Yeah, they
Mowing
cut that. They cut that James Franco line at the end, and they put it in like a beat. Yeah, it was
Oh,
like
for real?
mowing down Vance with my best friend, but mowing
shit.
down Vance. So it was stuck in my head all night. It was
Oh,
fantastic.
that's dope.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't hear that. That's cool.
So what happens then? Yeah.
Yeah, there's the team up. You're getting the battle, and then Snoop Dogg comes in and fights them. And then it's we gotta find your daughter and wife, homie. But then Snoop Dogg gets separated after a little. They're jumped on by the vampires.
These are spoilers. Yeah.
Yeah,
Snoop
we're
Dogg
in
gets
the spoilers.
Snoop Dogg gets bit.
He gets bit.
Yeah.
But then he does the sacrifice.
Yeah,
You
he
knew it was coming.
Yep.
He's gonna, all right, let's go this way. Knocks down the fucking gate. Get out of here, homie. I got you. Get your family.
Yep.
And not gonna lie,
What?
thought it was.
Well, let's wait.
Well, we're talking spoilers.
I know, but let's wait until the moment because the moment's so great.
all right.
So what happens? Snoop Dogg, what? What does he do?
Sacrifices himself.
What does he do?
He barricades. He drops the gate, and he starts shooting at the vampires that are coming. That's it.
No, there's a bomb strapped to his fucking chest.
The bomb.
What?
That's right. The bomb. The bomb.
Yeah, there's a bomb strapped to his chest, and Jamie Foxx is running away, and you just hear a, doo, it's like a cool explosion. It's like blue light. It wasn't a
Right, and he says
normal
something.
explosion.
I think it was UV.
Whatever. Yeah, it's a giant bomb, but it's not a normal bomb. It's fucking great. And
Yeah.
you're like, oh, Snoop Dogg sacrificed himself. Awesome. Great. Perfect arc for his
Heroic.
perfect arc for his character. Great, awesome. Then you have the final fight with the head
Yeah.
vamp who you didn't like.
Right, well-
And then you have the other two characters, Dave Franco and the other girl, fighting the sidekick of the. See, I thought he could have been done better. I thought he should have been more memorable.
Okay. Yeah,
I
I
didn't
know
have a
what you
problem with
mean.
her because I felt like she was vicious and mean. I bought it. Him, I'm like, oh, you have like a henchman, a second in command. Make him really memorable, right? And they didn't to me. He was just a boring, generic white dude. So
Yeah, he said the generic lines,
I
didn't
wasn't
really say
scared
much.
by him. I
Yeah.
thought he could have been done better. But again, not a perfect movie.
Yeah.
And they're fighting while it's cool, cutting back and forth. It's really
Right.
well done because I cared about what was going to happen.
Sure, me too.
I'm like, I don't know, is someone going to get bit? Like, what's going to happen here?
Right.
Is the little girl going to be what's going to happen, dude? You know?
know.
And I love how Jamie Foxx, he's getting his ass kicked, and Dave Franco and them are getting their ass kicked. And they fucking pull on that dude's fucking arms, man. They just rip apart his arms so they win. Then we cut back to Jamie Foxx, and he is beat the fuck up.
Oh, yeah.
And his fucking wife and his daughter's like, get up, dad. He's like, I'm trying. And I gotta tell you, I fucking loved how he won that fight.
Yeah, I agree.
I did not see it coming.
Me neither.
I said, okay, someone's gonna come in. I was like, someone's gonna basically it's set up to where Jamie Foxx, he closes his eyes. He sees this vampire, the head vampire, who's super fast. Like she's literally, what's your favorite superhero? The Flash. She's literally just like the Flash, and she can all over the place. And so she's whooping his ass. So she's super, super, super fast. Jamie Foxx is on his last rope, closes his eyes. You're like, oh, he's just accepting death right now.
It's
Like,
over for him.
It's over. He has no other options. And that's what you think as the audience. And you're just like, okay, but like maybe Dave Franco's going to come and
Sure,
tackle
that's
her.
what I
Like,
was thinking, yeah.
What's going to happen
Yeah.
here? You know, he can't die. And no, she just runs right fucking at him. And you're like, what the fuck, dude? And set up and callback, baby. What did he fucking use? That silver wire in the beginning, and what did they say? That how you kill these sorts of vampires is if you shoot them however many times in the heart
Yeah.
before you chop their head off, then they die.
Yeah, it was like
They-
6 or
They
something, yeah.
established the rule of how you kill her kind of vampires, and way early, like an hour before, and then that's how he kills her, is by that rule, and he set up the string, you didn't see it. So I loved it. It was just all thought out and planned, and when her head just fucking slid off, I loved it. I
Yeah.
fucking loved it because I didn't see it coming.
And he almost, good thing he didn't sell it to the Russian guy, Mikey, because he needed it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it was cool to see it come full circle, and I didn't think of that at all. I think like most of the audience, you're going, what's going to happen to Jamie Foxx?
Because he says it. When he's shooting her, he's like 7 in the thing, boom, and he shoots her, and you're thinking, you're like, oh, wait, yeah, like, wait, okay. Like, but you're not
yeah, yeah.
registering
No.
what it means, you know? And then she just turns around, she caught the bullet. So you're like, oh, it didn't work. Whatever
Right.
you're saying didn't work. But no, it's all planned out. you had to shoot him before the head thing. And it's like, yes, they established that rule. They said it was never shown. And then they show it an hour later. That is a setup and a payoff, and I fucking loved it. Yep.
Absolutely. I got satisfied right there.
Yeah,
it was
clever.
Yeah,
it was
and
a
plus-
clever ending. Yep.
Plus, I didn't like her, so I'm glad she was dead. You know what I mean? So
Well, you know
it was
she's
a
gonna
win-win.
die. She's the main villain.
Win-win.
Yeah. Win-win.
Win-win.
Win-win, man. But you're not supposed to like her, so that's the good part.
Yeah, no, I get it.
You're not supposed to like her. I hated her too, man.
Yeah.
You know,
But
I
you
hated
liked
her. I hated her. She's the main villain of the story.
Yeah.
You know?
All right.
I got you on that one, dude.
Saves the day. His daughter and wife are back. He can do what he needs to do.
They go up the stairs and they see the fucking captain who comes. that scene was amazing.
Yeah, it was great.
Who comes at him and he's like, "You broke code." No. And Dave Franco's like, "Actually,"
Yeah.
and he just undercuts every rule that the captain who wanted Jamie Foxx to fail is saying. And that scene was played so great by all three of them. Perfect. I just loved it. I love that it's fun. It's comedic. It was just a comedic scene.
Sure.
It's not taking itself seriously.
Yeah.
That's what I like. So
Yeah.
I like the way that was handled. He's back on the force and ready to go. And he's like, Dave Franco's like, I'm a field agent now. I'm mowing down vans with my best friend Bud.
I'm a field man now. I'm mowing down vamps with my best friend Bud. That felt good.
That's what he
I wish
says,
I fucking
man.
heard that now.
That's what he
In
says.
the song.
Well, maybe
remix.
if you give credits to Chance instead of just Marvel
Oh,
credits.
I'm sorry.
man.
I watched all of
Instead
Prey
of
last
just
week. Did you?
Marvel
Did
credits,
you?
dude. You fast forwarded through Prey.
Yeah, well, I still saw it all.
Me too. Me too. Same with me.
Well, take it
Instead
easy.
of Marvel credits, go through these credits, dude.
It's fine.
You know?
The good thing is you can always go back to it.
Oh, absolutely. So that's kind of how it ends, and then we get a nice little.
Yeah.
What'd you get, Mikey?
Shot
What
of the
happened?
city, right? And you're like, okay, we're about to go to
Yeah.
credits. Guess what?
What happens?
Manhole cover pops
Ba-boop.
open. Who pops out? SNOOPDOGG. And he just pops out and he says a line, which I want you to say.
Okay, yeah. So he pops out, and you're like, "Oh my God, Snoop Dogg's alive." He doesn't
alive.
have his hat because Jamie Foxx gave Dave Franco the hat, which was a nice little symbolic gesture.
Sure.
Pops out, lights up his fucking little cigar things that he's smoking, and he just looks at the. Did he look at the camera or did he?
It was off.
It was a little bit
I was
off
making
camera.
sure it wasn't breaking the fourth,
Yeah,
and he
he's
didn't,
like,
but it was
this-
close.
That's what I
love
love
about LA. All the damn vampires.
vampires, or whatever the exact line is. And then the music starts playing. He gets up, hits the fucking thing from the back, and just walking away. Credits roll. Fantastic. Loved it. Loved it. Fun movie, entertaining movie. Snoop Dogg lived. I laughed out loud. I was like, oh, that's hilarious. Like, of course, that's just hilarious that he lived.
Absolutely.
Hilarious.
And if you're a dumb idiot out there and you're like, well, guys, what's the significance of that? Okay, that's a cool line. We're talking about a reference to Lost Boys, okay?
Yep.
With the grandfather where he says, that's why I can't stand Santa Clara, all the damn vampires.
Yep.
So that's the reference, you fucking morons.
Idiots.
Sorry, I just had to I knew someone out
Get
there was
it
gonna
right.
be like, and I don't, it's just a cool
Get it
line.
right, dude. Get it right, man. I just love that. I loved that Snoop survived. It was just great because it's like, why not?
Yeah, why not?
In this movie, it's
Yeah,
like
yeah,
it's
yeah.
just it's such a tongue-in-cheek tone and not serious. It's like, yeah, let him survive. Like you
Right.
said, it could have been a UV light thing. Like
Yeah.
he didn't have to die. It was just all light, so
Yeah.
it burns him. Okay, he
A la
survived.
Blade 2, you know?
Blade 2, there you go. He survived, man.
Yeah, he survived.
Pops out of the. I don't know. I love.
He's a vamp now, but he survived.
Yeah.
Most likely. He got bit in the neck.
Most like. Yeah, but he said it was just a
Oh,
flesh
no, wait.
wound. It was weird.
Oh, yeah, first of all, that
know what
was
I mean?
weird. That was
Yeah.
very weird, but his eyes actually were a different color.
Were they?
Yeah, they were. He's a vamp.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm talking to a person who's color deficient, but I did
I know.
notice it. Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Okay. Maybe that's why he says he loves all the vampires.
'Cause he is
you know?
one now.
Or sorry, that's why he loves Los Angeles because of all the vampires. When in the or Lost Boys, it's hate all the vampires.
Right.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, 100%. It's a
Okay.
little flippity flop.
Yeah. So final thoughts here, man. What do you got?
Final thoughts. Look, I did go in there worried about it because of previous Jamie Foxx-led Netflix movies, which is totally understandable. And not always making the Jack Nicholson face, but it's
Not
fine. It's
understandable
totally
at
understandable. A
all.
lot of people, I'm sure, had the same feeling.
No way.
This Project Power is a piece of shit. But at the end
It's
of the day,
made by different people.
Doesn't matter.
Why the
Anyway.
fuck would it have anything to do? Does every Ryan Gosling movie made by Fox is the same?
So I will say
No.
overall, I did thoroughly enjoy the movie. It's not perfect. I did have some problems here and there.
What were your other problems, huh?
I already said them. Dave Franco, didn't like him.
Yeah,
and
that was your main problem.
Yeah,
That was your main problem.
The villain. For me, it just didn't work for me. I understand what she's doing, and it's fine. She did what she needed to do. Good job to the actress. Stop. I would have liked I would like the guy
You
for
want
the
a
most
hot
part.
dude,
For this.
we get it,
Just
man.
for a vampire type movie, just give me a hot, big, hulking dude and just make him a little bit more menacing, and I'm fine with it. Whatever. But at the end of the day,
She
entertaining.
buried a dude in concrete who's her own kind.
Anybody could do that.
But that's the point. She's a 120-pound female.
Yeah.
Like 50 years old, and she's running shit. I don't know,
Eh.
dude. Oh, and the fucking what I thought was really
Wasn't finished
cool.
saying my gripes, but it's fine. But go ahead.
I don't give a shit. Was that the old lady he killed in the beginning was her daughter?
Yeah, we didn't even say that.
That she came over to America but left her young daughter. And by the time she got back to pick up the daughter, she was fucking 90. So literally turned her daughter when she was 90 years old. I just love that,
was cool.
aspect to it. Loved it.
You don't see that anywhere else. Like, it's just pretty rare. Like, Blade's mom was the vampire. It's different, though. It's a different scenario.
I mean,
Turning your old kid, that's
That's
great.
what I'm saying. We know vampires live forever, so you can do. Like, it's like, yeah,
We know the
what can we
lore.
do with that?
Yeah.
and that was a creative thing that they did with it.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah, your daughter, but you had to go back together. You know, Godfather style. You go back to the homeland.
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
So that was why she was after Bud, and yeah.
And what was your final thoughts?
Well, you need to finish yours, right?
I already forgot the gripe. I don't even know. I think that was all the grapes I had.
Yeah,
to
you
be
just didn't
honest.
like people. It's fine,
No, I
man.
didn't well, that's fucking goddamn right. You're right. I didn't like them. But what's your final thoughts?
My final thoughts were very great job by everyone around and the whole crew, the acting. I loved the tone. It kept the same tone throughout. Some of the comedic lines didn't work for me, but some did. Like some of the parts that were supposed to be funny did work for me. Like the physical, I liked some of the parts. Entertained thoroughly throughout the entire movie. I will be watching it again. I don't think you might be able to cut a couple lines here and there, make it 5 minutes shorter, 7 minutes shorter, but I felt like it was a good length. It did not feel slow or like it was, sludging along. Did not feel like that at all. Casting choices were a little out there, but they all worked for me. Snoop Dogg, good job. And practical effects, choreography, that's what stands out the most is the fight choreography that will make me want to watch this movie again. And when you have like the Deadite-ish kind of demon vampire things, that's what makes it great. I just wish they had spruced up the wardrobes and the look when there was more than 10 vampires coming after them instead of just generic bad guy one with a gray sweatshirt and blue jeans. Like, I just didn't want that. So don't fucking talk when I'm giving my final goddamn
You
statement.
did when I did. Actually, all I said was,
Yeah, I know.
I didn't talk.
Yeah, and I just said don't talk.
No, you did.
Perfect. Those are my final thoughts, guys. Go watch it. We just described the whole movie, but that's the best way to go through it so we can, kind of go through every point.
Sure.
So, JJ Perry, good job, man. Good
Yeah,
fucking
absolutely.
job. That's it. So, scores?
I have to go first, right? That's how this thing
Sure,
works.
man. I'll let you go first. You want to go first?
I think I have to. So, Day Shift, I'm going to give it a 7.3.
7.3.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna give it an 8 flat.
Okay.
I give it an 8 flat. Yeah.
right.
I feel like it should be 80%. I think I looked up the Rotten Tomatoes like 59 or something,
Yeah,
and then
yeah,
like
yeah,
65 for
Yeah.
users. So I was like, guys, you don't know what you're fucking. This is like a fucking Hansel and Gretel witch hunter. It's like it's not gonna be appreciated till like go watch Bright. Right?
Yeah.
Similar in tone.
Yeah,
sorry,
yeah.
not tone.
I know what you
Similar
mean.
idea.
Sure.
Definitely a similar idea. That movie sucks.
Fuck that movie.
The tone is all off. That movie sucks. It's like a buddy cop, supernatural, Los Angeles. It's kind of very similar, the idea. It's a very good example of how you can take one idea and do it, and it's kind of the same idea and do it in two totally different ways. So,
Yeah.
Bright sucked.
And so did Project Power, which actually, at the end of the day, also kind of has a very similar idea.
What's the idea?
That there's superheroes, bad superheroes, right? And like there's a black market for this drug that gives you superpowers for like
Fucking
an hour.
camera died. You want to talk about fucking pack?
Well, it's your fault.
We could have just fucking ended it.
No, we wouldn't have enough time anyway.
Damn it. We're gonna wrap it up, right?
Let's do it.
So thanks for biting by the watch one more time.
As always.
We're going to be back next time with something that is not about monsters or creatures living in Los Angeles starring Jamie Foxx.
Probably not.